I've said before that this welcome to country is now an almost permanent feature at the beginning of anything, not just the opening of Parliament or the State of Origin match, but on Qantas planes. If you go to the ballet for a night, it's welcome to country. Pauline Hanson said on this program in June, and I quote her, "I'm sick of hearing it on Qantas flights. It was brought in by Ernie Dingo. It's not part of their culture, and more it's encroaching on our rights." She said, "I don't believe in giving an acknowledgement to anyone, past, present or future. People have to earn that respect," unquote. I've made reference many times in the past to the work of the Australian historian Keith Windschuttle, who's on record as saying, and I quote, "Whenever Labor governments have gathered power in the past decade, they've made it compulsory for every government instrumentality and many independent organisations they fund to begin every public meeting with a ceremonial acknowledgement of Aboriginal traditional landowners," wrote Windschuttle. "This ritual is now virtually inescapable, from the opening of state and federal parliaments to writers' festivals, art exhibitions, academic conferences, school assemblies, indeed anywhere those in the public sector gather," unquote. Well, of course, since he wrote that, things have changed because it's everywhere. The State of Origin, not a public sector entertainment, but there we are in full view around the world, welcome to country. And you've got this Senator Lydia Thorpe saying, with the authority that being a member of Parliament confers, that our Australian flag had connotations of, quote, invasion and dispossession. And she wanted to question the, quote, illegitimate occupation of our country, and for people to know, quote, whose land they live on, and that the first people, quote, never ceded sovereignty. Well, as the historian Keith Windschuttle has said, 2 decades ago this ritual was unknown. It was introduced without public debate, let alone public support, and its authors have never been named or their purposes justified. Keith Windschuttle says that since the passing of the Native Title Act in 1993, quote, this has been foisted on a mystified public as though it had the sanction of deep Indigenous tradition. Well, Pauline Hanson has stuck to her guns and she joins me. Pauline, thank you for your time. Let me ask you this question. I don't want everyone to know where you live, but if I arrived at your doorstep and knocked on the door, you, as a courteous woman, which you are, would open the door and say to me, welcome, which would be an acknowledgement that I wasn't in my own place, I was in someone else's place. But the someone else, you, were making me welcome. If, therefore, at almost every function we have welcome to country, doesn't this imply that it's not our country and we should be grateful that the Indigenous owners are making us welcome? Is that the argument?
That is the argument, Alan. There is welcome to country and there's acknowledgement of country. So acknowledgement is basically saying that the traditional owners own the land that we now stand on. If we don't speak up about this and protest over this acknowledgement of country, we, the people, have gone along with this and accepted that they are the traditional owners of land. I may be, out on the left wing here, whatever I'm saying here, but what I'm saying, Ellen, is if we don't speak up against this welcome to country or flags on the floor of Parliament that hasn't been endorsed by the Australian people, we are going to head down the path of dividing us as a nation. They own 32% of the native title land now as it is. Now they're pushing for welcome to country and the acknowledgement of country and also the voice to Parliament. If we don't object to this, we are going to be strangers in our own land. We will be our land that we own, our housing, will actually be then challenged if we ever become a republic. That is, we have acknowledged as native title land and we will be paying them again for our